April the 23rd, 2023. Guys, you're looking at satellite images over the U.S. and Mexico. And we've got severe weather coming out of Texas down there, severe thunderstorm warnings. And as the day heats up, if you notice, this could turn into some tornadic activity. We have to be careful of that. It's going to be moving east across Texas into Louisiana and Arkansas and here into Mississippi. You're starting to see very light moisture up into Tennessee, if you notice, above Mississippi-Alabama line. And there's a dip in the Arctic vortex, that the dark blue swirl that you see dipping down through Colorado, down into the top of Mississippi into Tennessee, and then curving back up into the northeast is a very cold Arctic vortex system for this time of the year. Again, April 23rd, 2023. It's a little late in the year for this type of cold weather, and I'm afraid a lot of people are going to lose their plants and gardens if they're not very careful. But again, we'll take a look at that. But all of my friends down in west or southwest Texas and south central Texas, be careful as this thing is moving from left to right in this image towards the east. And this is my concern. Notice the area in the dark purple here, in the dark blues and light blues. All of this is frost warnings, winter weather advisories, things like that. And so from the northern section of Texas into northern section of Oklahoma, all the way to Arkansas, all of Tennessee's involved. Check this out, Kentucky, up and all the way to the Great Lakes. And what's happening, guys, is that vortex that I was just showing you that's dipping down through this area is very, like I said, it's very cold. So how many people have already planted? And I'd like to hear from my friends in Tennessee, Kentucky, all of these states that you see here, Texas, up into Oklahoma, just continue through the central section of the nation. Have you already planted your gardens? Or have you already got some plants out? What's going on in that area? Some of you have major farming going on, large fields and large crops. So it seems to me that we're late in the year for this. Now, for different reasons, I haven't planted my garden yet this year, and it may be a good thing. I'm trying to get to it in the next week or so. I know it's late, but we've had a lot going on with, we now have 12 Huskies and a total of 14 dogs. And the Huskies are getting very big, guys. They are approaching 4 weeks this week, and they're starting to run and play, and I'll get you some video on about that. Something I want to mention that I don't usually talk about is I haven't done as many videos lately. Two reasons. One, we've been very busy, and again with our hands full, and had a few health problems, guys. Yesterday I woke up and severe chest pains and nausea, headache, and ended up in the emergency room. I'd been feeling kind of rough for a few weeks, and they, of course, did the EKGs, and they x-rayed my heart and things like that, and the blood work came back good. What they found is a pinched nerve in my neck, the one that goes to your heart. And I don't know how many have been here over all the years, but when I first started my YouTube channel, I'd mentioned that after an accident on a large construction job, I'd been hurt pretty bad. They had to put a steel plate in my neck because of this, and they rebuilt my left shoulder. But that steel plate had, for these years, prevented the nerve that goes from your brain to your heart. I think it's possibly the same one if they have to put in a pacemaker. If I turn a certain way or move or lift certain weights, or not lifting weights, but lifting or moving, we got a farm, you know what I'm saying. Then as I'm 66 now, and I was in my 50s when I was hurt. So your bones get a little weaker, things like that. And if you're active, like we are kind of in the situation we have no choice to be, it'll get to you. So I'm going to have to end up going to a neurologist, and I don't know if they're going to try to do any work on that plate or just I'm going to have to deal with it. But I've got ice on it now and some medications that they gave me. And it will get to you, and just times you just got to lay down and just sit back and do nothing just to try to deal with it. So I apologize for the lack of videos the last few weeks. I'm going to try to get that back online now that I know what's going on, and I can try to take preventative measures and not to get in that situation again. But again, I'd like to hear from you about your gardens and things like that. This has been a strange year for weather. We know there's some manipulation, but I think we're seeing, because of the magnetic tilt of the earth, we're seeing the magnetic north change and move, not the physical pole, but the magnetic poles. I think that affects how the earth absorbs the energy from the sun. Our magnetic shields are at a different angle because they do tilt with the magnetic north and south. But so if we're seeing that tilting, is that one of the reasons we're seeing the strange weather, the flooding in California? And how will that affect what's about to be hurricane season? But let me look at, I want to show you a couple of other things on this map, and I won't keep it long. We'll try to get it uploaded. This is the watches, warnings, and advisories for that section of Texas. In the pink, you've got severe thunderstorm watches, large area. Offshore, you've got gale force warnings, marine warnings. And these orange blocks you see are severe thunderstorm warnings. They're already out now. This could be the problem as the day gets warmer and the sun's beaming down on top of these storm clouds. Could we see tornadoes? We could. It's still very warm. We're going to be in the 70s and 80s for the highs the next few days, but cooler, 40s and 50s at night. But today, you guys in Texas, you notice this is headed up towards Houston. It's right on the edge. You see Bay City in the white. You pay attention to this. We don't want to see any more loss of life, and we can't help property loss, but we can make sure that you're safe, your pets are safe, your friends and family are safe. Turn on your weather radios. You already got the severe weather statements. You got severe thunderstorm warnings. And make sure that you're aware of what goes on today through this Sunday. Let's look at that radar in the area. Now, here's your major problems in the Texas area. You've got this storm here, and the warnings keep popping up and going back down. This is the highway between San Antonio going down to Corpus Christi. You've got one coming in back here in the very western section, and that would be the Laredo area. Offshore, you're also going to have problems, guys. This is a lot of shipping in this area. Don't go out on your boats today. I know it's Sunday and people want to get out, but be very careful. Not only water spouts, but just the high waves and the wind can capsize a boat very quickly in the Gulf of Mexico. As we're watching this, you watch it. Keep your weather radios on today. It's a heads up, and remember to let me know in the comments how many people have planted in those areas where we're going to see this frost and freeze warnings, this winter weather advisories. It's part of analyzing the situation of where we're at and if possibly the magnetic tilting of the earth is having something to do with this wild weather. Other than what we know, there is some manipulation, but on a large scale, it's a little harder to do than it is just in a certain area. So we're seeing that dip in the vortex late in the season. That's telling me the magnetic north, which we know is shifting, and your magnetic north on your compass relies on these lines of force that we call our magnetopoles. So I think that all of that's shifting, and seasons are shifting with it. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. It's a heads up. Be safe.